Do you wish you could be the present mom you've always wanted to be, but still need to provide an income for your family? Are you tired of scouring the internet for legit jobs that will replace your income and that you can do from home in your PJs? Hey friend, welcome to the Virtual Assistant Mama podcast. I know you're over there Googling jobs for moms, legit work at home jobs, or start a side hustle, yet you can't figure out how to take that first step. So instead, you stay stuck, do nothing, or start random side hustles to try to make quick money. Becoming a virtual assistant is the answered prayer you've been waiting for. My name is Ariana, and I'm a former teacher turned work-at-home mom who replaced my teaching income as a virtual assistant in just 6 months. I did this by taking a step of faith and following the dream that God placed on my heart to be home with my babies. Mama, your dreams pale in comparison to God's dreams for you. Imagine offering services that light you up, working with clients who value you and pay you what you're worth, and having a job that works around your life and not the other way around. This is the podcast for you. It's time to take that first step. Are you ready? Here we go.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Virtual Assistant Mama podcast. In this episode, I'm going to cover 3 practical tips that you can use to help you reach your financial goals as a busy work-at-home mom, someone who's, trying to provide for their family, but also wants to spend all the time with their babies. How can you actually make your income goals happen while juggling family life? So my first tip for you to help you reach your financial goals is to have a budget. I know you might be cringing at that word. A lot of people just kind of hold themselves back when they hear that word budget. And I get it because I used to be the exact same way. It's the same way with a planner. A lot of people are like, nope, I'm not doing a planner. It's too constricting. I can't do it. But think if you reframe your mind around it, you might be more open to the possibility of sticking to a budget. So when I think of a budget or even doing a planner every week, I like to think of it as a roadmap, and I see it as less constricting than not following a budget at all, because I get to actually see where my money is going and be aware of everything that's happening, which sounds scary at first, but you can actually see where you're hemorrhaging money that you don't need to, right? And where you're doing great in certain categories, and you can figure out, why am I doing great in that category? How can I apply it to this category where I'm always going super negative in? And it gives you a plan, and it's not something that has to be set in stone. It can adjust based on, what's happening that month or whatever, but it just gives you a roadmap to actually feeling like you can keep money in your bank account and it's not just always disappearing without you knowing where it's going. Okay. So I highly recommend having a budget. You can Google and find all kinds of basic budgets to start out with if you don't have one, but it's just a really good tool to have in your pocket to just help you figure out where your money's going, what you're actually spending it on, and how you can just minorly tweak things to make it a little bit easier and less stressful on you. I typically sit down and update my budget twice a month and just put in my different transactions and what they go to. If I buy something that I know one purchase goes to a bunch of different categories and I know I'm not going to remember, I'll just put a quick note in my phone, really quick. Or I've even seen people keep their receipts and then they just highlight in different colors, this is kid stuff, this is grocery, this is home stuff, etc. So whatever works for you, keep it simple when you're starting out, and you can always tweak it over time, but highly, highly, highly recommend having a budget. All right, the second tip to help you reach your financial goals as a work-at-home mom is to know what your bottom line is. So you need to know what you need to make in order to cover not only your expenses that you have, but also your taxes you need to pay, what you want to be setting aside for retirement and savings and all of that. You need to know what that number is so you know what you're actually working towards. It's easy to say, I have this goal to make $5,000 a month. Okay, but after taxes, what will you actually be taking home? What do you need to set aside for, like I said, retirement, savings, whatever? And then what's actually going to be left in your pocket? Are you going to have enough? Are you going to have a ton? What is that actual number going to look like once you've taken everything out of it? Okay, so I just want you to be aware of that. Know what that bottom line number is that you're trying to actually work towards. And then tip number 3 is to backwards design towards your goals. I've talked about this in episodes before, but in teaching, we have to backwards design for our students. We have a certain subject we need them to master. And so we have to figure out, what lessons do I have to teach? And in what order do I have to teach those lessons to get my students to be able to master this subject? Okay. So you're going to do the same thing with your goals. Once you know that bottom line number, your goal income of what you need to be making, and then also where all that money is going to be going once you actually make it, then you can figure out, okay, how many clients do I actually need to hit that goal? If I'm charging this rate for a client for, 20 hours of work a month, how many clients do I need to actually hit that income goal? And then you can break that down even further into saying, okay, if I know I need 4 clients to hit that number, this week I'm going to apply to this many jobs, and one of those should turn into a new client. This week I'm going to apply to this many jobs, and so on. And you can really just make it even more possible for you to hit your goals. I think a lot of people set goals and then they don't really make a plan to execute them, and they just turn into dreams instead of actually getting to be accomplished goals. And so if you make that game plan, you are setting yourself up for success, and you're going to find that you're able to hit those goals and those dreams a whole lot faster. Okay? So real quick, let me just recap those 3 practical tips I have to help you reach your financial goals as a work-at-home mom. Number 1 is having a budget. I know, just do it. Number 2 is knowing your bottom line numbers, what you need to cover everything. And number 3 is backwards designing towards whatever your income goals are. All right, y'all. I hope this episode was helpful. If you need help in this area, this is something that I help you with in the Virtual Assistant Mama Academy. That program, VAMA, gives you literally everything you need to hit your goals and be successful. You get the roadmap for landing clients as a virtual assistant. You get all the tools, templates, resources. You get to save so much time, money, and energy because I've got it all laid out for you. And I help you identify what your income goals are, and we figure out how you're going to get there. Okay? I walk hand in hand with you through that process. So if you are ready, go check out virtualassistantmama.com. You can also find that link in the show notes. See everything that's included. Can't wait to see you in there. And let me know if you have any questions. You can always DM me on Instagram at ariana.vernier, or come into our Facebook group. You can find that link in the show notes. Drop your questions, and I would be more than happy to answer them. All right, y'all. I love you so much, and we will see you next time.
Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I would love to bless you with a free gift as a thank you. All you have to do is leave a review of the show on Apple Podcasts, take a screenshot, and send it to podcast@virtualassistantmama.com. I'll send you a code so you can snag my virtual assistant toolkit for free. And don't forget to come hang out with us in our free community, facebook.com/groups/virtual assistant mama. I'm so honored to support you in your journey to becoming a virtual assistant. Until next week, y'all, keep following the dreams that were placed on your heart so you can be the present mama you've always wanted to be.